I'm Lance Lambert. Thanks for tuning into the Vintage Vehicle Show. We are in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Art and Shirley Goldstrom collection. This is a collection of great hot rods and street rods, all kinds of memorabilia, drag cars, cool stuff just everywhere. Well, who put this all together? Well, Art and Shirley Goldstrom did, and you are going to get a chance to meet Art in just a moment. But in the meantime, do what I always tell you to do. Just kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. Art Goldstrom, thank you very much for allowing us to come into your nostalgia street rods here in Las Vegas. What an impressive collection. How'd this come about?
Well, we just started years ago, one at a time, you know, building cars, and we just keep building all the time. Keep building another one. We get one done, we build another.
It's heavily street rod, hot rod, a lot of drag cars here, a lot of things that go fast. There's a Bonneville record holder in here. Did you come up over the years being a drag race guy that went into street rods, or a street rod guy that took an interest in drag racing, or how'd that develop?
I just always loved drag racing, so the rest just came along with it. So I started drag racing, I'll quit drag racing.
And the nostalgia stuff, you have neon and a lot of autograph things. Is that as big a passion as the cars?
Well, I like everything.
Well, this is a little bit different, a T-bucket roadster with 2 engines in it. I have not seen one like this before. Tell us about this.
Well, this has got 2 small blocks in it, and it's got a chain coupler, and the engines run the same. You know, it starts off with one motor, and they both turn the same with the chain coupler, and away you go.
How was it to drive?
Well, like on the freeway at 70 miles an hour, it's real stable.
And you're paying attention. How about, it's a pretty long wheelbase. How is it going around corners?
Well, the turning radius is not great on it, that's for sure.
And the reaction you get from people?
It's different. Yeah. That's what I like, something different, so they look at it.
And at 70 miles an hour, are you being sucked out of the compartment here, or is it pretty
Drives nice.
Well, you have something near here that it went really, really fast, I understand. So let's take a look at that.
All right.
All right. Art, I was talking to one of your staff people earlier, and they said that this is a Bonneville record holder. Tell us about it.
Yes, it's got 2 records at Bonneville, and it's got a single pass at 243.
243 miles
Yeah, single
an hour.
pass, and the records are down around, in B and C class, and they're 123 and 125, I believe, with Jimmy Shine driving.
Underneath the hood, what's powering it?
It's a 376-inch Dodge.
I understand that it has a few dings here and there, and there's some stories that go along with those dings. Tell us about that.
Well, it's short and a lot of power, and so it's spun. I think we spun it out like, I think about 6 or 8 times. It's got a spin sticker over there on that side.
How fast was it going when it spun?
Well, 225 in there. Well, it spun faster than that, really. I don't know. Can't keep track of them all.
Who was driving it then?
Jimmy Shine.
Okay, what'd he have to say about it?
Well, it shakes you up.
Yeah.
It's just getting the weight right and everything, and it's what the big thing is.
And the parachute at one point cut loose at a wrong time or something, or did some damage?
We got a short, well, when we spun it, the chute was out, and it wrapped around the car.
So did Jimmy Shine climb back in it after that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He doesn't care.
Goodness. You have stuff that goes down the quarter mile really fast, and here you have Bonneville that goes miles really fast. What do you think the future of drag racing and Bonneville are?
Well, Bonneville, you know, it's a constant thing up there, keeping the salt right, and it's undetermined what's going to happen up there. The drag racing, I think, will just keep going up and up and go faster and faster. I can remember back when I was young, and they said the car couldn't go over 128 miles an hour. And they sure.
Yeah.
It's changed for sure.
And the first time Don Garlitz did 300, everybody said, And the nostalgia racing, I don't quite understand. There's nostalgia racing where the cars are built to the specifications of back in the 60s or so, is that correct?
Front engine cars.
Front engine cars?
Yeah, front engine cars.
Are they using modern technology to make those older style cars go faster, or are they sticking to what worked then and just fine-tuning it for now?
Well, the nostalgia cars are mostly now something that's been built brand new chassis and got all the modern stuff in it, and they really run up 100 miles an hour faster probably than they did when they were, you know, in that era, the front engine cars.
You have another race car over here, a little tiny thing that I bet goes really fast. Let's take a look at that.
All right.
Okay, 1938 Fiat Topolino. This obviously has one use and going straight down the road as fast as possible. Tell us about this car.
This is a drag race car. It's turned 142 and small block Chevy. It's kind of a nostalgia car, and called Going Dutch, which they all are, I guess, going Dutch.
And this is a steel body.
Steel body, yes, steel body on it. It's all steel.
Mm-hmm. Everybody knows of these cars, but they're not plentiful. You're not going to see these at every drag strip. Yeah. What kind of reaction do you get from people when they see this?
This particular car, you know, it's set up pretty nice. Everybody, I know the color scheme and everything, everybody seems to really like this car.
Mm-hmm. Have you driven it?
Yes.
How is it?
Squirrely.
Yeah. The short wheelbase, or?
Yeah, the short wheelbase, yeah. It's a handful.
Yeah. And have you had any mishaps in this? Or?
No, no.
All right, not yet anyway.
Not yet, yeah, that's it.
Has it always had the wing on the top?
Yes.
And so that keeps it staying on the ground.
Well, and it looks too.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good.
Yeah, it looks great. What category would this race in, and what would be a typical car it would race against?
Just a nostalgia class. They have several classes now, so for nostalgia cars, it would be a nostalgia coupe.
Okay, so it might be a Willys next to it, or it might be
something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
There's a lot of Fiats around.
Mm-hmm. ...1928 Ford Woodie. Very cool. Everybody loves a Woodie. There's even people that aren't into cars love Woodies. Tell us about this one.
It's got a 383, and it's original wood, been refinished, and 383 stroker, 3 carburetors, and it's nice driver, drives real good. I turned the, everybody's opened it, so I turned the door handles upside down. See, so they think it's locked. So,
Smart.
so keep them out of there.
All right. Is this something you put together yourself, or you're bought it this way?
I bought this at an auction.
You have a shop here where you do a lot of work, don't you? Yeah.
We just keep building cars all the time.
So everything in there from a wreck rolls in and rolls out 2 months later a hot rod?
Well, we just start from scratch and build.
The Woodie market has always been popular. It used to be, they were broken down with surfboards out the back. Now they're at Barrett Jackson and getting $250,000 for them. What do you see in the Woodie market?
They're just less. There's only a certain amount of them, so they just keep selling for more money.
And something like this, this goes out to every kind of show imaginable? Do you do hot rod shows, and do you do other kinds of things with it, or any sort of public appearances?
I've taken it to a couple of shows, that's about it. It's got a place here, sits here and looks good.
All right. And speaking of here, you put on a big car show here every year, right?
Yes.
And how many cars do you get for that?
Probably 400.
Right out here outside the building.
That's about what we've got room for. We try to get around 300 to 400.
And you're involved in some charities, right?
We're the Parkinson's.
Okay.
All Parkinson's Fund.
So the money raised at your car shows goes to the Parkinson Fund.
Stays local too. It's through the local chapter.
Well, that's great. Art, a fun part of the hobby are pedal cars and all the other memorabilia kind of stuff. But this is beautiful. Tell us about this 32 Ford pedal car.
I got this out of an auction. It was, it's supposedly 1932 Ford, and it was made several years back. It's got a lot of wood in it. So I had to put it up on the stand so nobody would be sitting in it. And it's kind of a working model. It's the pedals work and everything in it. So it's a genuine pedal car.
Yeah. So is this a reproduction of a pedal car from the past, or this is a pedal car from the past?
It was supposedly built around in the 32 area.
This is, the finish work on it looks as good as any of the cars in here, or some of the cars in here. This is beautiful. The kids that do come in here, what appeals to them the most when you have your grandkids in here, or somebody brings their kids in? Where do they go?
Oh, I don't know. They got several different things. Like they like the wagons and stuff like that. I got a couple of wagons, and that's what they usually look at, because they can relate to the wagons. They know what it is. Art,
at this point, we have done 431 episodes of the Vintage Vehicle Show. This is our first Zamboni. Tell us about this.
It's got a 454 for an engine and 700 tranny, and it's been converted to electricity instead of manual power hydraulic. So you can take and turn the electric motor on. Yeah, it's a working Zamboni. That's the ice bucket, so it's carpeted now, so you can put a couple of dancing girls and a margarita bar in there. And the dump still works on it and everything else. And then the back here is the ice cutter.
What does somebody do with a hot rod Zamboni?
Smoke the tires. Have a lot of fun. Hold the front brakes and then get the tires light and smoke the tires till you can't even see me up there. I got to get the record the Zamboni man and put in there though.
Okay, yeah. Have you ever, it's not street legal, I'm not seeing headlights or taillights, and of course who would drive a Zamboni on the street, but have you ever done that just to see people's reaction?
Drive around, yeah, it just kind of bounces like the Zamboni man.
Kidney buster.
Pretty neat.
And a lot of cell phones come out of car windows.
Oh yeah, yeah, they'd like it.
And what made you want to have a Zamboni?
You're trying to get something a little bit different that everybody look at. Everybody's got muscle cars or something, and there's 25 of them in a row. I like they're different things so they can look at different things.
When somebody's visiting your collection here, do they figure out right away what it is, or do they ask, what's that great big thing?
A lot of people know what, just by looking at it as a Zamboni, but then they start looking at the motor and want to know all about it. But it's different.
Yeah, it is different. It's, like I say, the only Zamboni. I have a hunch this will be, however long the show lasts, this is going to be the only Zamboni that was ever on the show. So you have that bragging right.
Right.
Right. 1932 Fords are, when people think of hot rods, they think of 32 Fords. Here you have a 32 Ford pickup. Tell us about this.
Well, this we built from the ground up. We found the cab. It was in a wash, and a lot of work on it, getting it back to where it is. It's an all-steel car, everything's steel on it, and it has a 514-inch big block Ford, 600 horse, and the steering was so tight we had to put a chain drive steering down so it'd shoot straight through. The bed and that's steel, everything's steel on it.
The pictures that you see of derelict, rusty, crunched up bodies in the middle of the desert, that's what this started out as.
Yeah, that's what this was. A lot of damage in the back part of it. The most damage was on the back part.
Driving the pickup, 32 Ford pickup, as opposed to a highboy or coupe or whatever, do you feel a distinct difference?
Well, the problem is with 32 pickup, it's small inside. But I'm small, so I fit in there good. But that's why there's a lot of people don't like a pickup, because there's no leg room in it.
No leg room, but lots of headroom.
Yeah, lots of headroom.
Yeah, you haven't chopped it. What's the deal?
Well, I just nostalgia.
Yeah.
I like nostalgia stuff.
1927 Mack beer wagon. Tell me about this. Is very unusual.
This is a 27 steel cab off of a big Mack truck.
That's a real Mack.
Yeah, it's a real Mack truck. They use them in the Boulder Dam and the spillways. They had a fleet of them. The radiator was in here. We got the radiator down there now. A little V6 Buick, and it draws a lot of attention. It's got 5-cent beer. Everybody talks about where's the 5-cent beer.
You bought it completed? Somebody else had built this?
Yes, I bought it out of from a guy who was all done. There's been hundreds of models made of it. I think it's Mattel models.
Has anybody come through your collection here, seen this, and said, hey, I built that model?
No, I never have heard that.
Well, I'll keep an eye out for the model and build it myself. Any other history on this you want to share?
Well, it's about, well, see, the original cab, you put your feet down, and we had to cut it off and make it shorter on the footrest, so you don't have near the amount of room in it, the little bench seat, and it's as close as it can get. Got a toolbox and everything, just like a big truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's, the front end is the same as a big truck, cut down a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So does it feel like a hot rod when you're driving it, or feel like a Mack truck?
It's a neat truck. Everybody looks at it. I put one foot out on the running board and drive it.
Art, the Zamboni was something different, and so is this. It has to be the world's fastest wheelchair. Tell us about this.
Well, it's North Star powered, and it has wheelie bars. You can take and put it on the wheelie bars or bring it down in front, whatever you want to do. It's got plasma in case you have a crash, and you can get a transfusion, and it's a handful.
So that's cranberry flavored vodka
in
there?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
That'll make. What made you do this, buy this, build this, whatever? How did you come to have this?
It started out as it had a Volkswagen. It was too tame, so these guys got it for the drags, and then they did all this work on it, and I've had it several years. There's a lot of engineering in this thing and everything else, and it's just got better as time goes on, you know, bigger and better.
This has actually been run at a drag race?
It was made for indoor drags.
Must be terrifying.
It's pretty wild handling.
Yeah. You putt around the parking lot in this, or does it get some use?
You can take and grab one brake and spin around one way like an idiot, and then grab the other and spin
like
around the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, this is amazing. And so Cadillac powered.
Yeah, it's North Star powered. The drive and everything's all North Star.
Is it easy to drive, or is it challenging?
It's quick steering.
I bet.
That's the only thing that's.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hydraulic steering, and it's quick.
Well, Art, we're going to have you start this up in a moment, but first of all, I want to say thank you very much for being on the Vintage Vehicle Show. Just amazing stuff here, very impressive. Say thank you to Shirley for us.
I will.
And Sherry, your daughter, she's been a great help on this. Thank you very much to her. And thank you very much for watching the Vintage Vehicle Show. If you weren't watching, we wouldn't have a show. We really appreciate it. And now you're going to hear the fastest wheelchair in the world.
That's it.
Yep.
Suddenly I have to go to the bathroom. Everybody turn around, please.